So how do you make an already best-selling car in Quebec even better? You give it all-wheel drive. Hi, I'm Miranda Lightstone. Welcome to another edition of the Suburban Driving with Miranda. And this week I'm looking at the Mazda 3 Sport all-wheel drive. Let's check it out. So I have been dying to drive this car for you guys, and here's why. So first of all, this is the 2020 Mazda 3 Sport all-wheel drive. And just a little bit of background, the Mazda 3 has been one of the best-selling vehicles in Quebec for a couple of years now. It surpassed the Honda Civic a few years ago, and it's been riding on top. It's had a bunch of AJAC awards. If you don't know what those are, that's the Automotive Journalists Association of Canada. So a bunch of us journalists get together and we drive a bunch of cars back to back for, used to be a week straight, and we vote on them. And then your car becomes either the best in Canada or it doesn't get an award. So Mazda has won a ton of these awards, and the Mazda 3 has won quite a few of them, and with good reason. So this is the Sport, which means it's the hatchback version, and it has all-wheel drive. This is the point that really drives it home for me, and it's taken them a little while to get here. Sorry, I'm so excited, like all the words are just coming out. You know, there's never really been a competition for Subaru. You know, Subaru has the Impreza, and they've had the Impreza for years, all-wheel drive, you know, a base model, affordable, you know, not a BMW, not a Mercedes, not a Volvo. You're buying an all-wheel drive sedan or hatchback that's actually in an economy car price range. So speaking of price, so this one is the GT, so it starts at $31,000. It's not a lot for what you get, and the fact that it has all-wheel drive, and this is a hugely capable car. I absolutely love driving this thing. So I drove it for the first time last year, I believe, and I drove the front-wheel drive version immediately afterwards, and the difference that you feel on the road, even in dry conditions. I didn't drive it in the winter, just like I am now. I had completely dry roads, no snow, no ice, nothing. I believe it was even in the spring or summer that I had the first all-wheel drive Sport. But the difference you feel in the drive is really incredible. It feels tighter, it feels more controlled, it's solid, it's planted on the ground. It just drives better. You know, this has the 2.5 liter Skyactiv G engine, so you have 186 horsepower, 186 pound-foot of torque. You've got the 6-speed automatic transmission. Thankfully, Mazda, awesome, kudos to you. They still offer their vehicles with the manual. However, if you want the all-wheel drive, you have to get the automatic. But you know what? It's a small price to pay to have this vehicle that, honestly, given our winters, and I say it all the time, you guys are really gonna get sick of it, but I'm gonna keep saying it. Once you have an all-wheel drive vehicle in our winters, you'll never go back to front-wheel drive, or you'll have a really hard time going back to front-wheel drive. So this vehicle for Mazda has put them into this realm of, you know, that beeped because I put my turn signal on. There's a car there, but I'm in a double turning lane, so it's okay. We're not gonna die. We're all good. This has put the Mazda 3 Sport all-wheel drive in this all-wheel drive vehicle realm where it never was before. And yeah, you know, people might not have considered all-wheel drive before the Mazda 3 was available with it. And honestly, not enough people look at Subaru. I often suggest it to people who are looking for a new car because they give me their criteria, they give me their breakdown, what they want, what they need, their price range, and a lot of them say they want all-wheel drive, and I suggest Subaru, and they're like, oh, I've never thought of that. And now I can do the same with Mazda, and they'll be like, hold on, the Mazda has all-wheel drive. Yes, it does, and it doesn't have to be an SUV. You don't have the ride height. This is true, and that can get you into some sticky situations in the winter. However, just having the all-wheel drive on its own with a good set of winters, you've got yourself a highly capable winter car that's roomy, comfortable, really nice to drive, and fun. You know, over the years, I have driven, I can't even tell you how many Mazdas, and I've never gotten out of a Mazda and been like, oh, well, that was boring. They're a lot of fun to drive. You know, they have a bad rap in that they had a bit of rust issues in the past. And, you know, I can't say that didn't happen because I see them on the road and I see it's true. But that aside, they have awesome engines, they have great transmissions, the manual, the automatic, super fun to drive, and just really overall, a nice car to be in. It's not boring. It's not a humdrum, then I have a regular hatchback and blah, blah, blah. It has a personality and it has character. And I think when you're in this segment, it is so important to have that. Because if you don't, then you kind of like fall into the masses and everything just is the same, and you don't stand out from the Civics and you don't stand out from the Corollas, which is really important to do because those are legacy buys and people are going to buy them no matter what because of their name. So Mazda was really smart in making a vehicle that stood out from the pack, and this one definitely does. Inside the Mazda 3 Sport all-wheel drive, now this is the GT version, so let me point that out to you. This is the top trim level. As it stands, this car costs about $31,000. There are a bunch of different trim levels for the Mazda 3 Sport, including ones that come with an optional manual transmission. It's fantastic. Of course, if you go for the all-wheel drive, you're gonna get the automatic. Not a terrible thing. Drives really well. Like I said during the driving portion, this is a solid little car on the road. It has a great engine, full of pep, full of get up, and handles really well. We're not talking about the drive here, we're talking about the interior. Again, Mazda 3 has evolved so much over the years, and I think it's taken on this level of sophistication that is almost too much for the fact that this is their entry-level vehicle. You know, the Mazda 3 is the bottom of their lineup, and I say bottom, but like it's just because it's the smallest car. But if you're sitting here and you're looking at this interior, you know, it's full of really high-end materials, soft touch on the dash. You've got really nice stitching across here, the brushed chrome everywhere. I love the simplicity of the center stack. There are barely any buttons here. And I think for once, like, thank you, Mazda. You know, it's not this overwhelming array of all these things you can touch and do and toggle and whatever. I've got a really nice big knob down here for all of my navigation on the main screen. I like the size of the screen here. I don't think it's too small. I think it fits the dash really nicely. And you know, I have a Bose sound system in this, again, because it is a GT. It is the highest end. I've got the faux leatherette seats that are heated, which is nice. I also have sport mode down here for when I'm driving. I didn't really engage it that much. I find the transmission and the engine sporty enough without having to put it in sport mode, which is good because you actually save a bit on gas in sport mode. Your revs go a bit higher, your throttle's a bit more sensitive. So you'll tend to go through your tank of gas a little bit more quickly. So if you want to save, you just keep your sport off and that's fine. I can also shift. I have my paddle switches here on the steering wheel. In terms of interior space, a lot of it. I think the trunk is a really good size. You get a little bit of added extra room. It's a bit deeper in the back when you open it up. The back seat has a lot of room. My son is great back there with his seat. And then of course I have all of the safety buttons as well. So over here I have, you know, my lane keep assist, and I have a head-up display, which is really hard to film, so you're not going to see it. Really nice, simple. I just have a white digital gauge that's up in my windscreen, which of course I can play with the level of intensity to see how bright or dull it is, or I can remove it altogether if I'd like to. And just a really nice, you know, keep it simple, stupid interior, which in terms of what's out there today, I think it's pretty sweet that they've done that. There's no charge pad, but I do have a USB port right here. I don't even have a charge pad in here. I have a nice big armrest in the middle, comfortable to rest my arm, plus lots of storage inside. Lots of storage inside. I'm gonna go get another coffee after this apparently. But overall, you know, the Mazda 3 just ticks all the necessary boxes. And as I said before, there's a reason that this is the has been the number one selling car in Quebec for quite some time. You know, AJAC, the Automotive Journalists Association of Canada, has awarded this vehicle multiple times as Compact Car of the Year. Again, with good reason. You know, this competes with the Civics, with the Corollas of the world, and it has to do well and it has to stand out, because unlike the Civics and the Corollas of the world, they often don't have that legacy buy associated with them. You know, Mazda's coming in as the new kid, and they're doing a damn good job at it. And I think they fully deserve all the awards that they've gotten, and they should continue to be one of the top selling vehicles in Quebec and Canada for that matter, because they continue to build these vehicles that are not only fun to drive, comfortable to sit in, and look great on the road too. All those boxes. The exterior of the Mazda 3 has gone through quite a few changes over the last few generations. You know, it went from this kind of like insane asylum, mad grinning look in front to what it is now, which is a really sleek, sophisticated, really modern looking front end. And I think it might be the best looking Mazda 3 to date. Now, of course, across the line, you've got the Kodo design, which follows through for the 3, the CX-5, the CX-9. All of the Mazdas now have that same beautiful front end. And I don't know about you, but this gray exterior color does all kinds of things for me. I think it makes the car look that much classier and just gives it that much more of an edge on the road. The lines on this car too, it's sleek, it's low slung. I mean, my son, my 8-year-old, got out of the car the other day and said, "Mommy, I can see over the roof. It's so little." And it's true. This is a really nice looking, wide set, not aggressive and not in a super sporty performance looking way, but it's just a really nice looking hatchback. You know, this is the Sport, which means that you have the 4-door hatch. I do think it looks better than the sedan, truthfully. If I was going to go for a Mazda 3, I would definitely get the hatchback. I just think it has a really nice, classy look, and the gray coupled with the black accents, that Kodo design front end, all in all, it comes together beautifully. All right, guys, that's been it for me and the 2021 Mazda 3 Sport all-wheel drive. As always, if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to hit me up at Miss Miranda L on Twitter or Instagram and Miranda Lightstone on Facebook.com. Thanks so much and hope to see you guys next week.